Hola, mi gente, and welcome to Cuéntame con Sonia Camacho. This short form podcast features the stories of Latinos from our community, from engineers, business owners, students, and so much more. Each episode will give you a quick boost of motivation and encouragement before starting your day. I'm your host, Sonia Camacho. Thank you for being here. Now let's get into today's episode. Welcome back to Cuéntame con Sonia Camacho. Today I have two amazing girls who are going to share their story on the first gen experience. I actually met them through mutual friends. One of them went to Oregon State University with me and another at George Fox University. They're actually graduating in June, so actually in just a few weeks after this episode goes live. So I'm so excited. And with that, Diana and Maria, please tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Diana Solano Lopez, and like Sonia said, I'm currently attending Oregon State University, and I'm about to finish my fourth year with Human Development and Family Sciences degree. I'm from Cornelius, Oregon, and come from a big family. I'm the oldest of five, so I'm a first gen student, and yeah, basically worked my way up with zero knowledge about college, about scholarships, about um, anything related to college, really. So, yeah, I'm really excited to talk about my experiences.
And I'm Maria Castañeda. I go to George Fox. I'm a senior. I'm studying organizational communication and management. And I'm also from Cornelius, Oregon. That's kind of how I know Diana. We've been best friends since kinder, which is crazy. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm also first gen. I come from a big family of six. I'm the youngest of four, and I'm excited to give a little bit of advice to students that are starting out their career and trying to navigate college because I know it's hard. So I'm really excited to be a part of this, and thank you so much, Sonia, for having us today.
Yeah, of course. So first, where are your guys' families from? I'm from Sinaloa, second generation on my dad's side, fourth gen on my mom's side. I feel like that would be kind of helpful for the listeners to hear as well.
Yeah, both of my parents are from Ecatepec, Estado de Mexico, so we're from Mexico City.
Nice.
My family, my parents are from Michoacan, Mexico. We're closer to Colima, so we're like from the coast of Michoacan. They're from a small town named Maquili, Michoacan. Yeah, we're
That's awesome.
closer. Hmm.
So, Diana, you kind of touched on this, but I kind of want to get into how you guys found out that higher education was going to be your route and scholarships and navigating that moment of, okay, like I'm in high school, but I think I want to take that next step into higher education and being the trailblazers of your families. What was that like for you, for both of
Yeah,
you?
yeah, thank you for the question. I think for me, as the oldest, I've always had that kind of like pressure to be having that example, showing the example to my siblings. And my mom had me at a very young age. She was 17 years old when she had me, and she migrated to the United States to give us a better life. And so for me, I think that was my motivation. It made me realized that I wanted to pursue higher education to show my family that it was doable and that it was going to be something that I was going to obtain regardless of the journey. So I know that it was really hard for me, especially because I didn't have older siblings or older cousins to tell me what to do, how to apply. I actually thought that scholarships and the common application were the same thing. So I literally had no idea how to apply. And so it was just that motivation to um, bring respect to my parents for coming here and leaving everything behind for me. And so that was my motivation and what kept me going. And I reached out to a lot of professors, a lot of teachers actually in high school teachers. And my Spanish and English teacher were my mentors during that time and were able to help me apply and just do my thing.
Um, for me, it was a little bit different because, like I said, I'm the youngest of four. But my parents, my mom went to school up to sixth grade. My dad went to school up to third grade. So for them, it was like super important, them making the decision to move to the United States. It was for my siblings and I to go to college, to go to school, to get a better education. So it was never really a choice whether we were going to college or not. It was like, you're going to college. Like, there's no maybe I'm thinking. No, it's like, you're going to college. And I knew that I would do everything I could to go to a good school. But I also knew that my parents didn't have much money. So I was like, well, I have to apply to scholarships. And I was really, really lucky that I guess I'm the youngest. So my siblings had already gone through the process, so they were very, very helpful in that. They were helpful in, I had questions about the essays and all of that stuff, and I knew that I had my siblings to kind of back me up, and I could ask them any questions. So I was very blessed that I got a full ride to George Fox through the Act
Oh,
Six
wow.
program, and that's how I learned about the Act Six because of my older brother, and that's the reason why I'm at George Fox. It's a really great school, but also because I got a full ride scholarship here.
That's awesome. And to kind of highlight off of that, are there any resources that you guys would say really helped you to like college readiness and prep that you think you wish you would have known about sooner?
Yeah, I feel like something that I wish I would have known sooner is to start looking at applications and scholarships way before senior year. I think that was the
Mhm.
hugest one for me. I started applying senior year, and it's not that I was late, but I know I could have maybe gotten more scholarships if I were to apply a year before, like the summer of senior year. So, yeah, I would say to um, yeah, just having more time and looking at the applications beforehand was really helpful, and wish I would have known that sooner rather than later.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
similar to Diana, I feel like one of the things that a lot of students don't really think about, but sharing your story is harder than you think. Especially
Mhm.
like writing those scholarship essays, it takes time. You can't just write an essay the night before and then get like a scholarship. It just takes time to really like write down like these are some important parts of my life that I want to share, and kind of learning how to write those. So one of the
Right.
things that I remember when I was like the summer before senior year, I like sat down with my sister, and she's like, "Okay, you're going to bullet down like some of the points you want to talk about," because I knew I wanted to like apply to the Act 6 scholarship because it was such a good scholarship, and I also applied to other like full ride scholarships, but McKenna sat down, and we there was this like scholarship book that I read. I don't remember the name of it, but it's like this blue book, and it talks all about scholarships. And I know like Gerardo Ochoa, he's one of the writers that he also helped write that book. But
Hey everyone, editing Sonia here. We actually found the book. It's called Path to Scholarships Making Dreams Come True, a guide for students to successfully apply for scholarships, 5th edition by June McBride.
basically, it's kind of like a guide that helps you like write those scholarship essays. And yeah, I feel like one of the things that I would tell people is like takes time, actually sit down and take time to look at the application, look at the requirements that they're looking for, and how to share your story, and really have somebody like read over them, and like you're gonna
Yeah.
have rough drafts. And
Yeah, it's not something that is just going to happen overnight. And I think that also plays into what Diana was saying too. Like, even if it's not your time to start applying, like maybe even at like, I think sophomore year might be a little early, but it doesn't ever hurt to look at the scholarships and see what they're asking of people. And then you can do what Mari is saying, like, start looking at what the requirements are, start making these bullet pointed lists so that when it comes your time, you're a bit more prepared. And it's not like, oh my gosh, I've never seen an application in my life. Um, but that's awesome. And so I kind of want to get into what it felt like going into your freshman year of college. And you guys come from different families in terms of like where you sit as like a younger or an older child. So what was that like? Like those first few months really being on your own, leaving the nest?
yeah, my first year was definitely difficult, super hard, not gonna lie. It was really hard leaving home. I think that was the main thing. I had been living home all my life, and stepping out, going to OSU on campus by myself with no one next to me that I knew was really hard, especially because also Mari and I were applying together. We were going through this together. And like how she said, we were together since basically kinder. So it was
Mhm.
just hard leaving that too, leaving your people. And I remember it was difficult, but something that did help me was the programs that they had at OSU, such as camp, the College Assistant Migrant Program. It's a great program where they take students, first year students, they help them out throughout their year with mentorship, with tutors, tuition help, a lot of career and traveling. So that program was literally the reason why I was able to have a easier transition. I also got the camp scholar internship. So I was able to intern with UHCS, University Housing and Dining Services at OSU. And so I was able to get a marketing internship and just get out of my comfort zone. I remember in high school, I was a bit more closed off. I was still into clubs and ASB, the Associated Student Body, but I wasn't as active. I was always like in the
Mhm.
back. And my first year was kind of like, okay, go, 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 and
Mhm.
do your thing, and just yeah, it was difficult, but it was very rewarding for sure.
Yeah.
Nice.
For me, I think even though I'm the youngest and like my siblings also went to college, you would think that it was easier for my mom to leave me. But since I'm the youngest, I feel like it was really difficult on her because, it was just us two. Like my dad passed away when I was in high school, so it was really just us two, and we were really close. So it was hard to leave the nest for me. So
Mhm.
it was like my mom kind of wanted me to go every weekend, and it was just like I had to really practice on, like, I'm in college now. I'm starting my new career, so really I had to practice on like boundaries and stuff to really focus in my school, but then also go back home and get to spend time with my friends, with Diana and all the high school friends, but also know that, like, no, my life isn't at George Fox in Newburgh, so that was a little bit
Mhm.
difficult. And like Diana said, we also had a program called the Mosaic Scholars here at George Fox, where you basically have a mentor that helps you, um, kind of helps you through your first year. You can talk to them, and that program was really great. And also through the Act Six, that scholarship is really amazing, really life changing, because the summer before you start at your university, you basically go through this kind of like a camp. But every Monday we would meet with all of the scholars. So there was like 7 of us, and we would meet, and they kind of prepared us for college. They kind of told us like what to expect, all about saving money and how to you're going to a new school and how to interact with people and what all the changes of living in a dorm and all that. So that was really really helpful for me because I kind of had an idea of what to expect even before starting school.
Yeah, I think something we can all relate on is that these organizations and programs that really like prepare us, because I was a part of LSAMP, which is a program at Oregon State, which is they work with camp and trio. They're all like summer bridge programs. And as Mari was saying, like you get this mentorship that, a lot of people overlook. Like you don't, know where the engineering printing is, or like, I don't know, like how to find the laundry in your dorm, like those little things that really make a big difference once you kind of get that mentorship from someone. But thank you for sharing the insight from your beginning years. And let's move on to kind of like any stories that you guys feel like you've had to go through, like as Hispanic women or Chicanas. Like, what have you gone through that has shaped you to where you are today in your junior and senior year that you think you want to share with the listeners?
Yeah, I feel like being a Latina and first gen student is such a proud thing to say, and to just represent. It's amazing being able to pursue higher education, knowing that a lot of people aren't able to do that, unfortunately, with the whole education system. And so it's just a very proud moment, very rewarding. It is difficult. I'm not gonna say that it's easy, but it is difficult, especially as a person of color. It can get difficult to, not feel left out, stereotyped. And I will say that my first year, I did get a lot of certain, like, I would say, interactions with people that weren't people of color that made me feel uncomfortable. But those stories were the stories that helped me shape the person who I am today, because I am more proud. I've always been proud, but it just kind of gives you that like push, like, no, like you need to stand up for yourself and you need to be that person of color. Um, and yeah, it's difficult sometimes, but it's something that I'm always gonna have in my roots. So I'm
Yeah.
a proud Latina.
I love that. And I think college is definitely, you kind of get a slap in the face of like the different types of interactions and diversity that there really is. And it really does prepare you for industry and like, the real world. But I can definitely relate on what you said about certain interactions and things like that. But Mari, I'm interested on hearing your experience also.
Yeah, for me, I feel like one of the things that I really worked on was really be proud of my roots and kind of embrace my Latina. Like I'm Mexican and I want to embrace that. So I got the opportunity to work in the admissions office as an intern here at my university. And my university is predominantly white. So I really wanted to like help the people that are coming in that their parents, they're also first gen or their parents don't know the language. And I wanted to help them out so that they know that George Fox is a great school and there's also support for them, even though everything is in English. So I'm bilingual, and one of the things I really wanted to focus on was to kind of translate everything and make sure that even the tours, when they were coming in to visit the school, the tours were in Spanish. And that was a goal I've had for a long time, that I want to make sure that other people that know that, college is available for everybody, and you don't have to be doing the
Mhm.
work to translate for your parents. Like there's people out there that are willing to help and understand where you're coming from. So I've really like not shied away from my culture and like how Latina I am, how Mexican I am. I'm proud of
Mhm.
it all. So
I love that. And I feel like for me, I had kind of like an experience like that as well. I really started to embrace and acknowledge who I was once I got to college because I grew up in a very predominantly white area. And then coming to college, all my friends are people of color. And it really helped me embrace who I am and how I identify as myself now, and just be proud of who I am and where I come from. But to wrap it up, we are recording this episode in February, actually on Diana's birthday. So happy birthday, Diana.
woo, happy
But
birthday.
Yeah.
we are actually going to be releasing this episode in June, probably around the time that the girls are graduating. So I kind of want to leave you guys like with a note from your past self so that present day you in June can be listening and kind of hear some words of encouragement or advice, just kind of, a reflection back to where you are and everything that you've done to get to where you are and your big accomplishments that are coming up. So if you guys want to end the episode with, some words to yourself, your future you, and we'll close it out.
Oh, this is such a sweet thing to do. Yeah, so for me, I think something that I want to tell my future self is that I'm super proud of you for everything that you're doing and everything that you're going to do in the future. And I really hope that you're prioritizing your mental health, your happiness, and that, you're encouraging other people to do what they want to do, and just being a leader and being there for people overall. So super proud of you. Woo!
Oh,
I would tell my future self as well that I'm super proud of you. I hope that you continue to reach your goals, that you don't shy away from anything, you don't limit yourself from anything. And I know that I accomplish everything I set my mind to. So I just know that I'm going to make it big one day. So Yeah. Thank you so
I
much, Sonia,
love
for
that.
having us today.
Yes,
Of
thank you,
course.
Sonia.
I absolutely love your notes to your future self. And that is all the time that we have today. But I will have their socials linked on this episode. But yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. And I will see you guys on the next episode. Follow the podcast on all social platforms at Cuéntame con Sonia Camacho. Listen to us on Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube. Want to be featured in a future episode? Email cuéntame.sonia@gmail.com. Thank you to our equipment sponsor, Shure.